Today, I want to chat about some thoughts on morality and karma. Tomorrow, we'll dive into the appearance of Christ and spill some facts that haven't seen the light yet. Theosophy, you see, becomes a game changer when it starts affecting our daily lives. It's not just about having these interesting principles as theories, it's about making them a living part of who we are. Sure, the theosophical ideas are fascinating on paper, but grasping the true meaning behind these spiritual scientific doctrines can be a bit tricky. We can logically test the theosophical facts, but understanding them on a deeper level is a journey. Now, there are two routes folks often take. The first one involves accepting spiritual truths based on a teacher's say-so. It's the comfy path, let's be honest. The other, though, delves into the nitty-gritty of life itself. And if karma's rules are in play, life should show us how it works, right? It should sculpt itself to reveal the workings of karma in our experiences and character development. Those on the quest for spiritual truths might find it easier to believe in them by watching life's facts unfold. Let's zoom in on two widely known moral qualities, envy and falsehood. These two have always gotten a bad rep. People from big shots to regular folks have this innate aversion to them. It's like a built-in disgust switch, the kind you can't ignore. Even the heavyweights like Benvenuto Cellini admitted to feeling capable of all sorts of sins, but drew the line at telling real lies. Goethe, another luminary, took pride in steering clear of envy. So whether you're a complex genius or just an everyday Joe, there's this instinctive defense mechanism against envy and falsehood that's hardwired into our souls. Let's put the theosophical bits on the back burner for a moment and look at envy and falsehood from a down-to-earth perspective. These two troublemakers are like a slap in the face to a fundamental element of social life, compassion. It's not just about sharing in someone's pain, it's also about recognizing their worth. Compassion, though, is a bit of a tricky beast. It's still got a fair bit of selfishness in the mix. Take Herder, for instance, who, rumour has it, passed out cold when faced with a dissecting room. Not because of compassion, mind you, but more due to his own squeamishness. Compassion needs an upgrade. We should be cheering on others' successes and virtues without a bitter aftertaste. Why? Because compassion ties us all together. Our soul experiences are like an interconnected web, and envy and falsehood, well, they mess with our ability to appreciate someone else's value. It's a soul slap to our fellow humans. Envy and falsehood aren't just personal fouls, they mess with the universe's game plan. They go against the laws that steer the world. Luckily, these two are like red flags. Folks don't let them slide easily. Now, let's dive into the mysterious side. Envy isn't always the obvious green-eyed monster. Sometimes, it's a sly player rooted in our astral body. You know, the home of feelings and passions. There's this sneaky law that makes detestable qualities from the astral body sneak into the etheric body. There, they put on a disguise, masquerading as judgments. We might criticise someone up and down without realising that underneath it all, there's a hidden envy party going on. It's like envy's secret journey, from the astral realms to the masked ball in the etheric body. Quite the process, isn't it? The soul, you see, takes quite a journey through many lifetimes. At some point in the grand human story, the mischievous duo Lucifer and Ahriman snuck into the soul's inner sanctum. Now spotting these troublemakers in their current form within us. Not a walk in the park, unless you're buddies with clairvoyant investigation. Goethe, the wise wordsmith, hit the nail on the head when he remarked, "Folks do not notice the devil, even when he takes them by the scruff of the neck." Ignoring the devil? Absolutely possible. Mephistopheles might not show up on a scientific radar, but Lucifer and Ahriman? Oh, their sly residents in human nature. Ahriman sets up shop in the etheric body, while Lucifer makes himself comfy in the astral body. Lucifer, that tricky character, tempts our soul to take a moral nosedive, luring it away from its roots. He's the one pulling us into the passionate abyss, so watch out. On the flip side, Ahriman is the mastermind of falsehood and error, messing with our judgments. Now, these two aren't exactly cheerleaders for human progress, but surprisingly, they get along quite swimmingly. Envy, my friend, is like Lucifer's calling card. It's nasty and people hate it. When we decide to kick envy to the curb, Lucifer passes the baton to Ahriman. And what does Ahriman do? He darkens our judgments, throwing a shade of falsehood into the mix. Fight against Lucifer in the astral ring, and Ahriman finds a back door into the etheric realm, making our judgments on others as murky as a foggy morning. This is the game of falsehood, and falsehood is Ahriman's specialty. People aren't big fans of falsehood either, so they gear up for a battle. Try to squash falsehood, and Ahriman pulls a switcheroo, handing the reins to Lucifer. What creeps into the astral body then? An unmistakable sense of egoism. Egoism, my friend, is just falsehood with a leash. So when you see folks wrestling with envy and falsehood, know that it's the dynamic duo, Lucifer and Ahriman, pulling some strings within the human soul. Quite the act, isn't it? Let's dive into the real deal now, where we can spot the footprints of envy and falsehood, even within the boundaries of a single life journey. Picture this, a person who once had a knack for spinning tales, a certified yarn spinner. Now, according to the Karma rulebook, we'd wait and watch how this unfolds, but you don't need a crystal ball. Life itself, the grand school of existence, offers lessons. Our protagonist might drop the lying act, but behold, a new character trait steps into the spotlight, a noticeable shyness. Some folks just can't muster the courage to look you square in the eyes. Connect the dots, and you might spot the dance between a past filled with hypocrisy and a present painted with timidity. Let's paint another scene. Envy takes centre stage in someone's earlier chapters. Fast forward, and as envy fades away, a different shade emerges, a dependence on others. This person becomes a bit wobbly, lacking that independent swagger when facing life head-on. Now these aren't just random quirks, they're connections, my friend, karmic connections. Karma, the subtle puppet master, works in a way that you can catch a faint whiff of its laws even in one lifetime. The big impact, though, unveils itself in the next act. Imagine this. Youth echoes with envy, and in old age the melody shifts to helplessness and a lack of independence. It's like karma's signature move, a nuance, a hint, an undercurrent that lingers beyond the curtain call, weaves through Kamaloka, and gets tangled up in the threads of the next life. Goethe, the sage of words, put it beautifully. The desires of our youth are fully realised in our old age. It's a universal truth that swings both ways, the good and the not-so-great desires. In the sequel, character qualities take the stage again, building up the trio of bodies, physical, etheric, and astral. Envy, if it played a leading role in one act, leaves its mark on the next, shaping a physical constitution that's a bit on the fragile side. It's like envy whispers its influence into the very fibres of the human organism, a silent architect crafting the blueprint for the next incarnation. Quite the cosmic construction project, isn't it? When we encounter someone navigating life with a sense of helplessness and dependency, it's like a whisper from karma saying, envy had a hand in their past gig. Now, if karma is the real deal, and let's say it is, our attitude towards this person becomes crucial. We've got to behave with the understanding that our paths crossed for a reason. Maybe we were on the receiving end of their envy in a previous act. It's a sort of cosmic reunion, you could say. So what can we do for this individual? Well, forgiveness is the secret sauce. They need it, and they need it in abundance. If we've got something to forgive them for, then let's wrap them in an aura of forgiveness. We won't spell it out to them. No, we'll just act on it and wait for the magic to unfold. The result? Watch them bloom with health and strength. Do what's right, and the universe tends to nod in approval. This is how we dance in tune with the rhythms of karma, and suddenly, Theosophy isn't just a theory, it's alive and kicking. Now here's where some might miss the mark. They might say, well, that person's woes are just payback for their past deeds. Karma's doing its thing, quite reasonably. But here's the twist. Understanding karma means realising that someone else's karma is their business, not ours. The fulfilment of karma doesn't need our 2 cents. Our job is to lend a helping hand. We need to pull in every positive vibe and action that could steer their karma in a better direction. That's the essence of grasping karma's intricate dance. Now, if someone's on an esoteric journey, well, then we can offer some advice on navigating their karma road. Moral qualities, my friend, aren't just for show. They pull the strings of karmic effects. Sure, they might shapeshift a bit in one lifetime, but come the next act, they're diving deep into the physical organism. It's like the encore of a cosmic performance, where the moral notes play a vital role in crafting the melody of our destiny. Quite the soulful symphony, wouldn't you say? So we touched on how falsehood might morph into timidity within the same lifetime, causing a person to withdraw into themselves, take a step forward, and falsehood from one act can birth timidity as a fundamental quality in the next incarnation. Picture this: a soul born timid, tangled in fears, not just shying away from others, but caught in the grips of pathological fears. The timidity, once a subtle karmic echo of falsehood, now manifests as an innate quality, woven into the very fabric of the physical body. Now, how do we deal with someone we suspect was a prolific liar in their past life? Well, here's the inside scoop. We don't drop truth bombs on them. No, that's not the play. Instead, we tell ourselves, not them, mind you, okay, this person might have led us astray with a parade of lies in their past life. Time to bring in some fruitful and valuable truths. Those bound by karma with this individual need to venture into their soul with love and devotion. It's a give-and-take game falsehood compensated by truth. But here's the secret sauce. Only those karmically entwined with them can make a positive dent. Adopting this mindset, they become witnesses to the magic of positive truths and genuine understanding. Karma isn't just a fancy concept, it's a real deal, and its results unfold in peculiar ways. Dive lovingly into the cracks of their weaknesses, and you'll find your influence acting like a soothing balm, bringing them freedom and health. It's like an energy exchange. Immerse yourself completely, and you might just have a rejuvenating impact. Now, when it comes to our attitude towards others, it's a bit of a fork in the road, understanding or criticism. The effect? Well, it's the difference between lending a helping hand or standing by, unable to make a difference. Approach someone with understanding, that is diving lovingly into their soul, understanding their weaknesses when karma calls for it, and you might just be their beacon. On the flip side, stick to criticism, and that's where the road ends. The choice is ours, my friend. Let's take a peek into the kaleidoscope of life and see what unfolds in two scenarios. First up, the magic of criticism and rebuke. Sure, it might seem like a wake-up call, a nudge in the right direction. But here's the twist. It might work or it might backfire. Those who make a habit of pointing fingers and rebuking others aren't immune either. A certain sense of isolation sneaks in. They start feeling cut off from the rest. Now, shift gears and immerse yourself in the game of love and understanding, even in the face of someone's failings. Again, it might work or it might not. But one thing's for sure, it's a boon for the soul on the receiving end. The laws governing criticism and understanding are like night and day. Rebuke, more often than not, bounces back, forming new karma. On the flip side, understanding births a treasury of riches in the other soul, smoothing out and dissolving karma. So here's the punchline. When it comes to helping ourselves, it's like navigating a tricky terrain, with the potential for harm looming large. But extend a helping hand to others, and the harm we can cause them. Well, it's not much, at least not in the long run. It's a peculiar law, revealing the impact of karma within a single lifetime. Those who lend a hand with good qualities and immerse themselves lovingly in another's soul are sowing the seeds for a favourable harvest down the road. And let's not play the egoism card. Being good and noble isn't some calculated move. It's a natural thing. And the positive aftermath is just the universe balancing the scales. Here's the plot twist. If we're stuck in our own bubble, lacking understanding for others and doling out criticism left and right, no good vibes will come our way. It's weird, but true. Being good to others is a condition for our own progress. Life's quirky like that. Now let's dive into a fundamental law that gracefully glides from one incarnation to the next, revealing its magic in a splendid way. Picture this. In one lifetime, our instincts lead us to goodness, a life instinct nudging us toward the virtuous path. Fast forward to the next life, and voila, Theosophy makes its grand entrance, already having left its mark. Consider someone who, at a time when we were still stumbling through the maze of life, showered us with undeserved goodness. Now, not all good things in life are created equal. Some are like unexpected gifts, and their impact can vary. It's like a symphony where the conductor decides which notes resonate and which fade into the background. Now here's where the clairvoyant gets a front row seat to something special. When someone extended their goodness to us at a time when we didn't quite earn it, these actions manifest as a sort of karmic reimbursement from us to them. If this dynamic is in play, the effect on us will be positive. If not, well, it won't do much good. When it comes to karma, every action has its own quiet ripple effect, even if it escapes the immediate notice of the physical eye. Sure, the paths of karma are like a labyrinth, intricate and winding, but you see, life itself is the grand proof, the evidence of how karma dances in the world. Dive into the study of karma, align your actions accordingly, and the success in life will stand as a testament that you've tapped into a real law, one that holds its ground. Now, there are 3 ways to face karma. You can be the non-believer, dismissing it altogether, or you can be the believer, trusting in its existence. But the real game changer is the third path, believing, observing and testing its principles through the lens of life itself. Theosophy isn't just a fancy theory, it's a quest for proof, a journey to embed this truth in the very fabric of life. Quite the cosmic adventure, wouldn't you say? And that's a wrap for today's learning journey. Thank you so much for joining us and experiencing all the excitement. If you had as much fun as we did, don't forget to give that like button a big thumbs up and subscribe.